of speakers that have joined in today to um, shed light on this topic. And also, I want to say welcome to us, or welcome to the speaker, especially welcome to us, especially. Um, it's a great delight to be hosting this event. My name is Best Olaoluwa, and quickly, I would want us to start. But before we start, let's share our best emojis on the group, on the chat box. Sorry. So if you're excited to be in today's webinar, I want you to go to the chat box and share your best emoji. Just go to the chat box and share your best emoji if you're excited to be in today's webinar. Like I said at the beginning, it's a very crucial topic that we're looking at today, and we have a host of seasoned experts that are going to be dishing out so much value. So if you're excited today, let me see the excitement in the chat box. Please go to the chat box and share your best emoji. Go to the chat box and share your best emoji. All right, I can see it coming. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Thank you so much, Akin. Let's keep it coming. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay, so before we dive in, thank you so much, Akin. I can see it. Thank you so much. All right, before we dive in, I just want to say a brief um observation I've had personally about artificial intelligence. We see artificial intelligence today transforming so many lives, transforming so many workplaces, changing the way things are being done. And it's important that at this time we're able to maximize artificial intelligence in our workplaces, maximize artificial intelligence in our homes. You see that it is transforming industries. In fact, it is even taking on jobs that people would do in time past. So how do you position yourself in this age where artificial intelligence, is becoming the norm, and it's being infused in our day-to-day activities? Before we start, I would want us to also do another activity. I want you to think about your routine for the past 1 week, and ask yourself this question: what is the biggest work-life challenge I've had this last 1 week? What is the biggest work-life challenge I've had? It can be lack of time. A lot of us struggle to manage our time because we're so busy. It can be work overload. Whatever it is, I just want you to think one big challenge that you have faced, in your trying to balance your work life, in the last 1 week. I want you to go to the chat box again and let us know what's one big challenge that you faced in the last 1 week. In the last 1 week. For me personally, I think mine is lack of time. I have a lot of things to do. I want to manage my tasks effectively. I'm trying to get up, to address different tasks that are on my desk at the same time. And it's like, oh, this thing is so much for me to handle. So I want you to go to the chat box and let me know what's the biggest work-life challenge that you faced in the last 1 week. You don't have to think too far, just the last 1 week. Okay, so I'll be heading to the chat box right now to see our responses. I hope we're commenting. Biggest work-life challenge. Biggest work-life challenge. Anybody? By the way, I think we mentioned it on the flyer that we're going to give out prizes to certain people today. So some of us will be winning courses, some of us will be winning, freebies, depending on your level of interaction and engagement. So please and please ensure to, respond to our prompts when we ask. Okay, someone said people management. Thank you to Lulok. But another person, let's keep it coming. Time management. Thank you, Grace. Any work-life challenge you faced in the last 1 week? Once I get 4 people, would move to the next session. So I'm waiting for 2 more responses. Any work challenge you faced in the last 1 week? Any work challenge you faced in the last 1 week? Okay, let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Just how to improve ERP usage of my clients and how tech can help. All right, thank you, Adewale. One last person. Okay, customer acquisition and identifying them. Funny enough, for all of these challenges that we are mentioning, AI has a solution. Okay, AI has a solution. Okay, someone said Lagos traffic. That's hilarious. But yeah, it's a big issue, and I can relate, right? So for all of these challenges that we're mentioning, AI is providing solutions that we can use to solve them. And it's amazing how we see that, when we understand how to leverage the power of AI, we can curb, excessive timing, spending excessive time on certain tasks. So it's important that we understand and we identify the right AI tools to use to, adjust our schedules and our timing, so that we can do everything that we want to do. We can, meet our goals on time. So today, what we're going to be looking at basically is how to use AI to address all of these challenges that we have raised. And we have a lineup of amazing speakers, like I mentioned earlier, that are going to take us on different aspect of AI, how to use AI to balance your work life, how to use AI to improve your efficiency in the workplace, how to use AI to identify or to manage the problems you're facing when it comes to balancing work and your personal life. Right now, I'm going to be introducing our very first speaker and the convener of this webinar. His name is David Jolajesu. Let me take a minute to read this bio. So David Jolajesu is the CEO of Zion Stand Digital Technology, with over 10 years experience in the digital product industry, cutting across graphics design, web design, and product management. He has successfully applied technical skills to create designs to inform and engage thousands of people. Mr. Jolajesu David is known for excellence and have effectively catered to over 100 plus customers across different continents, providing world-class design solutions. So if your hands are not too busy with a virtual ovation, I want you to also hit the chat box at this moment as we welcome our convener, David Jolajesu. So you can send a clapping emoji to signify that you are giving him a virtual ovation. Please, can we give our convener a virtual ovation? Just clap, clap, clap him as he comes up on the virtual stage. Yes, on the virtual stage. So can we put our hands together for him? Mr. David, please, you have the floor, sir.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead. We can hear
Good
you.
morning, everybody. Thank you so much, Oluwatobi. I'm trying to put on my camera, but I'm having a little bit of challenge doing that. So, in the course of the discussion, I will try again, and I hope I'm able to successfully do that so that we can have a face to the voice. Thank you so much. So, I would like to welcome everybody. I think you should put a round of applause for yourself. Put your hands together for yourself, at least a virtual vision for yourself, for joining, and because you are seeking for knowledge, and knowledge is power. And I believe that with this webinar, you're able to leverage the knowledge you get so that you will be very, very versatile in your place of work and whatever industry you find yourself. So today we're talking about AI. How can we leverage the power of AI in our work life to ensure that our life is balanced, to ensure that our work is balanced, to ensure that we don't get overwhelmed with activities that can be, sorted out with, you know, at the blink of the eye. So I'll be sharing my slide now. I will try as much as possible to be quick and as elaborate as possible. If you can see my screen, please let me know. Can you see my screen?
Not yet, please. We can't see your screen.
Okay. Please, how about now?
Oh, yes, I can see your screen now. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. So today we'll just be talking about AI. I'll just give us a brief introduction to AI, what AI really means, and I'll try to demystify AI, letting you know the myths about AI, what industry AI. To have a quick understanding on that, then we move to the next thing. So AI is a machine. is basically a machine, but it replicates or mimic human intelligence. When we are talking about mimicking human intelligence, that means this thing can act like, it can talk like, it can respond in a way that you as an human being can easily understand without any need for rigorous thinking or need to try to use another system to debunk or to break down what the AI is telling you. So AI will relate to you with your general language, with your human language, and you can also relate to AI with your own human language without having to use any specific language or programming terms. So AI just mimics human intelligence. It communicates with you the way you would want to communicate with every other personal or
I think
thing.
okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Went off for a while, but we can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Okay. So I said AI, the core of AI is data. The core of AI.
We
We
cannot
can
see
talk
your
about
screen.
text data.
Okay,
Can you see
please
my
go
screen?
ahead. Yeah, we can see it now. It's back. Please go ahead.
Okay. Text data, audio data, any kind of data that you can, that is what AI is learned on. So you use machine language is the common AI approach. So this machine learning is just learning based on the data that has been imputed. And this data was imputed by a couple of developers or engineers. Now, what they do is they write some algorithm. They train this machine based on the data they have collected. Now, what kind of data? How did they even generate this data? How did they come up with this data? These data are data they've received from you and I, from fellow human beings like us. Human interaction, human relation, human research, everything, human activities, human events. This is the accumulation of all those data that we then train or engineers then train AI to use to respond to us as an individual. We also need to even know how AI learns. There are three ways AI learns. We have the supervised learning, we have the reinforced learning, and we have the unsupervised learning. Now, what do you mean by supervised learning? Imagine a child in a classroom, and this child needs to solve simple arithmetic solutions. 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, 3 plus 3. Now, the teacher, who is the supervisor, gives this child the process, tells this child what is 1, what is plus, what is equal to. Then when you add 1 plus 1 and you put them together, how do you get the solution? And what is the solution? That is what supervised learning is. That means all through the step of the way, there is an human intervention. Now, we'll now come to reinforced learning. Reinforced learning is an advanced stage of the supervised learning. The reinforced learning has to do with, okay, you know what 1 plus 1 is, you know what numbers are, you know what operations are, arithmetical operations are, you know what, you know, you know the process and the pattern of adding things together, subtracting things, and doing other things like that, and things like that. Understanding this process coming from feedbacks and the outcome of the supervised learning. This is what the AI will now build on as a reinforced learning. Now, this comes from feedbacks, just like I've said. The reinforced learning means that the AI has already, passed the stage of supervision. Now, it is not completely cutting off human intervention, but there is minimal intervention. There is minimal human intervention for reinforced learning. How? That means from the feedback to the outcome, the AI is told this is a positive feedback, use. This is a negative feedback. Don't use this process. In this period or during this stage, the AI comes up with its own pattern. Now we move to the unsupervised learning. The unsupervised learning means that the AI needs little or no human intervention to be able to come up with its own pattern, to be able to solve problems, to be able to do anything. So AI can use these methods to learn, and at the same time use these methods to operate. So there are some AI out there now that requires one or two human, intervention. There are some AI that requires little human intervention, and there are some AI that are just running without any need for human intervention, and their results will be as accurate as possible. Why? Because they've been trained over the years. They've been trained over different models of data, and they've been able to come up with patterns for themselves. For that AI now, for the unsupervised AI, is just like when you see the root of a fruit, you discover that, or of a tree, it has created different branches and patterns, and it just keeps growing. So we'll now move to the types of AI. We have the narrow AI, we have the generative AI, we have the super AI. Although AI can be categorized into different things, we have categorized by function and capabilities, but for now, just the purpose of this meeting, we'll be talking about the basic, categories or types of AI. So we have the narrow AI, we have the general AI, and we have the super AI. The narrow AI is also referred to as the weak AI. Those are AI that are trained on specifics, just narrowed down task. For instance, your chatbot. Let me give you a scenario. If I have a hosting company and I have about 3,000 customers, just for example, I have about 3,000 customers, and the some clients or some users are having certain issues. What I can do is to train my bot to be able to respond to as basically all possible issues that can come up from my from my users, from my customers, from my audience. Now, this AI begin to respond, begin to provide solution. As you are chatting with the AI is able to give you, specific feedback based on the kind of problem you might have encountered or you might be having. Or, it might be walking you through the process of how to use that particular thing. So that is what chatbot is. For self-driving cars will only drive. That is the only thing they can do. So they are trained specifically. They are narrowed, the applications are narrowed down to a specific set of data. But for the general AI, this one mimics human intelligence. This one talks to you. It will, whatever kind of, task you give to it, it is able to give you feedback. It is able to identify voice. It is able to identify images. It is able to respond to you. No matter the kind of question you bring, no matter the kind of problem, it's able to compute at your own level and give you a response. Then we have the final one, we have the super AI. Yet it is still, from the research, is still theoretical, but this is said to supersede or surpass human intelligence in all aspects. That means it will process data, it will even come up with its own pattern without any need for human intelligence and human input. Now we need to debunk some myths about AI. AI will take over jobs. Yes and no. So the thing now is that there are some jobs that AI will completely move off the shelf. But in the process of doing this, it will also open doors for more. There was a data I was looking at. I don't know if it is up to date now. It said that AI is going to replace about 50 million jobs, but it's going to bring up more than 90 million jobs. So just to be sure that you won't get stranded, you have to move with the trend. And AI is a trend that has come to stay, whether you like it or not. AI is a trend that has come to stay. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't even pray about it. It has come to stay. What you should do is to harness it, leverage on it. You can use it to do as many things as you can. For instance, now I'm an employee and I need to reply mails, or I need to compose mails, I need to come up with meeting agendas, I need to come up with different things. I can, provided I've been doing it before, I have the knowledge about it, I can just input the necessary prompt into the AI just to sort it out, instead of having to think and burden myself with that responsibility. Now, this might be something you could pay somebody for, or something that somebody else is paid for. But by the time you discover that everybody can come up with an email with AI, or come up with you don't need to pay too many people to carry out some taxes, some tax will be cut off, whilst new tax will come on. Then you say AI is too complex. AI is not complex. AI is user friendly, completely user friendly. A child of 5 years old can use AI. Anybody can use AI. AI is for anybody. There is no specific tool, provided you have your phone, you have a smart device, then you have access to AI. They say AI is only for large organizations. No, as an individual, you have access to AI. You can use AI for basically anything. You can draw up roadmaps for you can even, AI can be your personal coach. There are applications now that have AI as coaches, your workout coach, your health coach, different things. As an individual, you have access to AI. Big companies like Tesla, Amazon, they can use AI. They are using AI. They've even been using AI right before most of the masses have had access to it. But now AI is available for everyone. And they said, is AI reliable and accurate? Now the thing is, there are some biasness in AI. Why? AI is trained on data models, from different times. So, for instance, now when we had ChatGPT, when it came up, the AI model was trained on data stopping at 2021. 2021. So, if you asked ChatGPT any question based on something futuristic, or I need data based on something that happened last year, which is 2023, ChatGPT 3 might not be able to give you that. But now we have new, upgraded, advanced chatbots, AI everywhere now that can give you information even up till January 2024. So it depends on the kind of data you're looking for. It depends on the conversation you're having with the AI. Then you also have to, get your resources and get yourself right. One thing that is very important for us to be productive and efficient with AI, is not what I've written here on this slide. I will share this slide, but I think I just have to use this as a closing note. But before that, I can just mention a couple of industries that have already started using AI. We have the manufacturing industry, we have the retail industry, we have the healthcare, we have the customer care service. The illustration of the scenario of the hosting service that I talked about can be categorized under the retail and the customer care. For health, AI is being used to diagnose, diseases, problems, come up with scheduled plans for patients, so that the doctors are able to attend to more people. And instead of you booking appointments and waiting for a very long time. Then in the manufacturing industry, we have the robots doing fantastic, a lot of jobs. Now, the idea, everything came from the fact that we could train AI either in a supervised way, in a reinforced way, and in an unsupervised way. So some of the AI here working, they are either narrow AI, they are either narrow AI or general AI. And some of them are still functioning in a supervised way, reinforced way, or unsupervised way. And the future is work is here. The future of work is here. You can't, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing anybody can do about it. AI has come to stay. It will unlock opportunities. Once you're able to leverage on it and use it, you'll become more productive, you'll become more creative, you will have time for more things, even your personal relationship. But moving forward, I think I just have to use this for a closing note because my time is fast spent. The important thing I need you all to know is that there is a positive way, there's a good way of using AI, and there's a bad way of using AI. And I'll just say this in one word: AI is not meant to replace your reasoning. AI is not meant to replace your thinking process. AI is not yet to replace you as a person when it comes to using your human intelligence. AI is not a replacement for your brain. You are only meant to leverage AI so that you'll be able to have time for creative thinking, you'll be able to have time for strategy, you'll be able to, use less time to carry out more tasks. AI, I'm saying it again, is not meant to replace your reasoning. Because AI can write mails, because AI can attend to something very, very quickly, people just tend to want to leave, just want to become mentally lazy because they know that AI is there to resolve it at, almost immediately and anytime they want to. But no, please, I would need us to, utilize AI, whether you're a medical practitioner, you're a business owner, you're an employee, you're a customer care person, you're an engineer, you're a cook, whatever it is, or whatever industry you find yourself, just leverage on AI. Don't let it replace you. And I hope with these few points, you're able to understand a little bit about how AI works and what AI is. I will hand over to the moderator as she continues. So please, everyone, pay attention to every other thing so that you'll be able to get the best out of this meeting. The live question and answer is opened.
Please,
Cheers.
can we put our hands together for our host, Mr. David Jelajiso? That was amazing, 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 amazing. Thank you so much. Personally, I think what stood out for me is the fact that you said, AI is going to bring about more jobs. And then you made the explanation so simple by making us understand that AI can be your personal assistant. Because you have AI, it doesn't mean that you should, lose yourself, lose your thinking, lose your reasoning ability. It just means that you should be able to better organize yourself. You'll be able to, give some tasks to AI so that you can, do better things. You can do bigger things. You can even do much more than you could do before the advent of AI. Thank you so much. So I want to ask us one question before I'm going to go ahead to introduce the panelists. And the question is, what aspect of your job do you think can benefit most from AI automation? What aspect of your job do you think could benefit most from AI automation? What aspect of your job do you think could benefit most from AI automation? Please, let's hit the chat box and give our responses. You can just think about what your work entails and look at what aspects can I automate with AI. I'm sure a couple of us have not thought about this before. We just go about, okay, DM marketing. Thank you, Timmy Tokbe. Yes, you can use chatbots for DM marketing. All right. Visual illustration with AI. Thank you, Tolulokbe. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get more responses. Right now, I'll be going on to introduce our panelists for today. I'm still waiting for more responses. Please, can we bring our responses? Can we send in our responses? All right. Aside from DM marketing and visual illustration, financial analysis, very correct. Structural designs, very correct. Thank you so much, Dedidaya. Thank you so much, Okandu. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Right now, I'm just going to go ahead and introduce our panelists. No other persons than Afolabi Abbas and Oluwakayode Olamuyegun. I'll be reading their bio to us right now. In fact, when I was reading this earlier, I was so impressed. So impressed. Like, we are getting so much value for our time today. So Afolabi Abbas is a well-established engineering lead known for his success in steering product development, teams, and strategies across various companies. With over 7 years of experience in engineering and leading product development in multiple industries, Afolabi is a highly motivated and impact-driven professional. His expertise spans a wide range of technologies, including PHP, TypeScript, JavaScript, and a host of many others. He has also worked extensively on distributed systems architecture and managed DevOps operations on AWS-based infrastructures. Afolabi prides himself on empathetic leadership through transparent communication with cross-functional stakeholders, making impactful contributions through his sound personality, knowledge, and strategic thinking. Please join me in welcoming Afolabi Abbas. Like I said earlier, if your hands are not too busy, hit the chat box and give us your virtual ovation. Thank you so much. I can see it coming. All right, I'm going to quickly read Oluwakayode's bio so we can get to know him as well. Oluwakayode is a versatile engineering and business consultant with over 15 years of experience in industries like the oil and gas, telecoms, and technology. His expertise in project management and strategic insight consistently delivers exceptional results. It bridges the gap between engineering and business needs, fostering growth and innovation. As a senior engineering consultant, he has led high-profile projects and recently founded Texodus to harness engineering and technology for societal solutions. So if your hands are also not too busy at this moment, I want you to also hit the chat box right now and give him a virtual ovation. All right, so our panelists will be coming on to talk to us about using AI for work-life balance. Please, if you can hear me, you can unmute at this point and turn on your camera so we can see your faces.
Oh.
Welcome, Afolabi, and welcome,
Good morning,
Oluwakayo.
everyone.
Good morning, sirs. We're glad to have you here on this event. Please, can you show us your faces if possible? We would like to see you. The floor is yours, so it's time for your section.
Can you guys see me? Yes. Perfect.
Yes, I can see you. I can see you.
Fantastic. I'm running multiple screens. Yes.
All right. So I guess you'll be talking to us first on how an employee can harness the power of AI, and then the second panelist will come immediately after. So the floor is yours. Thank
All
you very
right.
much. Yeah.
Yes, I can definitely take it from here. Right, just I know you've done a quick introduction. Thank you very much for that. And I think that after listening to David, I was like, what else is there to say from this at all? I feel like he has covered the most of it, and really it's like I think the biggest thing you can sort of take away from this, and I hope that at the end of the day is that you just need to use it, right? It's something that has to become part of a part of your day-to-day, right? For my talk, I've just broken it down into 3 different sections. I would say it's a very short talk so that you guys can ask questions as it's a panel session. But a quick summary, I think what are the future trends, and when we talk about future trends, what should you expect as an employee, right? And then we can quickly look into use cases, and then we look at pros and cons of AI, right? Future trends. Earlier this week, I was looking at a picture that showed a shop, and in that picture they had, you know how shops are now. You put like what you're selling, and in the span of a couple of years, they had initially put typewriters as the main thing, and this was what everyone was going nuts about, right? Everyone was driving for typewriters. The skill that people wanted was they were looking for people who could use typewriters, right? Further years down the line, they had typewriters as the main, and they had computers as other things they were selling. And obviously, after a while, that switched up, right? It switched up to computer being the main product that they sold, and typewriters just being the extra thing. And I think that we are literally at that turning point as well, right? And that's where the future is, right? The future is that employees need to be empowered with AI. There's the expectation that you know how to use it. And I think even prior to this, let's even think about this. I think that prior to sort of being at this turning point, there was the turning point of even being able to use Google, even as something as simple as Google, right? Google transformed our thinking in terms of access to data, right? Google did this whole thing of, scanning books and scanning tons of books. There was that time when you could go into Google and you could read, even still now, like you can read textbooks that are scanned, of course, when data and intellectual property thing came into place, you can't read as much books as you could in the early days when Google went on that project, right? But what's my point? My point is that even at some point in time, companies expected you as an employee to know how to ask the right questions in Google, right? You would go into interviews, and in certain interviews or certain job interviews, you could ask, do you mind if I quickly Google what you're asking me about, just to be able to gather your thoughts, right? And so we've left from that amazing search engine transformative world that Google brought into place into this world of chat GPTs and different, LLMs and different data language models, right? And that's where we are right now. And even right now, I think the word that is now maybe now popular, you would hear a lot more, is now prompt engineering. I'm even hearing that people it's a job title, prompt engineering, you're hearing that up and down, right? And if you wanted to say what's really prompt engineering, right? It's really just saying, how do I ask the right questions, right, to AI to give me the right answers? I think when we talk about pros and cons of AI, and I'm jumping here, is the fact that computers will always remain garbage in, garbage out, right? This is, and I know this sounds technical, but maybe it's not. What you give is what you get, right? And until we reach that level where, as David talked about, super AI, where it's now intelligent, it's surpassing human intelligence. It will always remain garbage in, garbage out. So there's that expectation that you as an employee, as you're super aware as to how can I use AI to better myself or to better the work that I do on a day-to-day, right? And so we could definitely go into use cases, and I'll give use cases from my own personal experience that I do on a day-to-day, right? And so I think as I go into the use cases, the way I want you to think about it, and this is the way I think about it personally, is that AI is it augments, right? And David perfectly finished his talk saying that it does not replace your thinking, and that's something that. And I would say that initially, even me myself, I was very hesitant about using AI. I didn't see the usefulness. I thought, you know what, I can do all the thinking that it needs me to do, right? And that's not the entire truth. The way you need to think about it is to say, I have this sidekick, all right? When you watch your superhero movies and there's this sidekick that is always helping that support, right? We all cannot be 100% all the time, right? That's the sad reality of it. They even say we use 10% of our brain. So, when you think about the fact that we're not even using a full capacity of our brain in our entire lifetime, it then means that you need that sidekick. And so I think the way to look at it is that you look at AI as that thing that helps you on your day-to-day. And how am I using AI on my day-to-day? For me, for example, it's helping me in decision-making and enhancing my productivity, right? And what does that look like for me? I'm a software engineer in my day-to-day, right? So I'm writing code. And I think in fact, I started my career really being exposed to machine learning, right? Which is, you can say it's a subset of AI. Some people say machine learning is a subset, is AI is a subset of machine learning, or the other way around, but machine learning is a subset of AI. Right? And what's machine learning? It's basically saying to the machine, this is data, as David had perfectly described. And if I give you new data and input new data, can you tell me what potentially the output would be? That's the entirety of machine learning. And that's what I started my career with. So now on a day-to-day, I say to AI, hey, this is data, I need this, right? So in my day-to-day, when I'm coding, when I'm, resolving things and doing whatever it is that I do in my day-to-day as a software engineer, I'm using it to enhance my productivity. So I may have a piece of code, for example, that I need to resolve that, or is having issues, for example. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. So I just give it to it and I say, hey, look at this for me. Can you find out what's wrong? Or I need to write this piece of code. Can you speed it up? An example was I needed to do some manual repetitive task, right? And this is where AI is perfect. I need to put in some data into our production database, for example, right? And it was actual data that started pulling up and down, right? This was I had 50 lists, 50 lists, By the time you do a cross multiplication of that, you already have 2,500 lines that you have to write, right? That's not something that I want to spend myself as a lead of other engineers doing, right? But unfortunately, I had to do it. So in that sense, I said to the AI, hey, I've got this. I need you to output this data in this way. Write me a code that would do that. And I did it, copied the code, put it, and just ran it locally, and voila. Work that would have cost me, that I had initially done using almost 1-2 hours before, because I had done a version of it before. Now I was solving that work in 5-10 minutes, right? And this is where AI becomes very transformative in our line of thinking, right? It's there to enhance your productivity, right? Similarly as well, I think when we think about productivity, it's also decision making, right? Whilst AI is there to help us, we still have to make decisions by ourselves, but we can also say to it, whilst we're not saying AI do the decision for me, we can also say to AI, make a decision for me. I need to explore why I need to use one technology, whether you're a structural engineer. I think I saw people talk about being using for visual illustration, or and for structural designs, AutoCAD versus something or whatever, right? And you want to start saying, hey, I need to make a decision. I need to put this struct here, architectural terms here, or would it make sense to put this pillar here while doing this design or whatever? What are the problems that I could potentially see? Or I need to make this technical decision as a software engineer to better performance or skill of my system, whatever it is, right? It then gives you the pros and cons of it. And so for me, for example, my day-to-day, I'm using that for that. Another way that I've sort of used AI is in I think we talked about supervised learning for AI, but I also use AI to learn, right? And so, for example, I need to learn a new technology, right? What's a new technology that's out there? Maybe something about machine learning, or an algorithm that uses machine learning, and I'm saying to it, I don't have time to start reading white papers. I don't have time to start reading articles about it. Can you give me a quick summary on this, right? For example, I was asking AI to give me a summary on gaming concurrency, right? And as a software engineer, it was part of programming that I had not been exposed to, and I was like, okay, what are the things that I need to consider when gaming? So by gaming concurrency, I'm talking about like if you played football before on your game online with other players, virtually somewhere else in the world, there's a lot of conflicts that happen that the computer has to deal with, right? So, I was saying, okay, what is it that I need to know about this line of work? And, I asked and I said, give me a summary of this, give me the key points that I need. And, I basically was using that to add to the knowledge that I already had. And I was like, oh, this makes sense. And you begin to glue it. And yes, but what you're doing there is you're doing deep learning using AI. You're speeding up the work that could have taken months, it could have taken weeks to sort of gather all that information and say, okay, how do I connect these dots? And you're just immediately using AI to help you connect the dots so much faster. So AI, another use case there is really deep learning, or to speed up your learning processes. Another way that I have used AI in my day-to-day is communication, right? Because I manage people, a lot of the times I need to communicate with them, right? And one thing that I know is that sometimes we don't always communicate the best ways. I think one of the biggest problems in the world is communication. Most wars in the world have been due to lack of proper communication from both parties, or one thing or the other, right? Not understanding. And so I would want to send a message. I would want to draft an email, and I would say, how do I draft this email? How do I draft an email to a report to say, and to pass across a message, whether a performance review message, or just generally saying, am I being empathetic enough? How can I draft this message properly? How can I draft this message in a way that it's super clear that this is what I'm communicating about, right? And so in essence, you already have this, this sidekick with you that is able to do things. So if you struggled with communication, for example, it's not your strongest point in your career or whatnot as an employee, right? Then you have it to sort of solve those problems for you immediately, because it's able to pull resources of experts that have talked about how do you pass across the right message, how do you run performance reviews as a manager of managers, or as a managers of or manager of people, right? So you solve problems and you begin to learn by yourself, and you say, okay. And with that, of course, even when you're getting that data, I think it's important as employees that we, or as people, that we still put our personality into the data we get from AI. And also, and when we say data from AI as well, we can then talk about the con side of it. Is AI is so prone to error. It's so prone to a lot of error. Like I said in at the beginning, it's garbage in, garbage out, right? That would always be the case. When ChatGPT first started, people were already sort of finding angles and tweaks to sort of getting AI to output the wrong answers, or to have, racist mentality, or to have Hitler kind of thinking in the way it was talking, just because, it takes in the data and says, hey, if you say this is true, then it's true. Like if I do a screen share, maybe I think you've corrected this. If I say 1 + 1 is 2, and I ask it 1 + 1 and it tells me it's 2, and I say to it, no, you've calculated that wrong, it will say, okay, I'm absorbing that information. Now you say it's 4, then it must be 4. So I think one thing that we need to definitely be aware is that before you don't be lazy about the data you get from AI. Is what I'm trying to drive at, right? That's one con side. It's the fact that the data you can get can be erroneous, right? It may not be accurate, it may not be, right? And of course, I think one side of that is the comfort of not wanting to learn things yourself. So, for example, I talked about using it as helping me in communication. And I then say to myself, hey, I don't need to learn about this. I can always ask you to draft this message for me once I have my key points. There's that downside of it where people tend not to want to learn how to use or how to gain skills just because they feel like they have this sidekick that they can go to all the time. And I think that if you think about it as managers, as a manager, for example, if you have people that can be resourced to you, it does not equate to the fact that you should not know how to do the work that you're assigning, right? And that's something to be very conscious about, similar to sort of using AI in your day-to-day. So that's a quick summary of everything from my perspective. AI as an employee and my day-to-day, the pros and cons of it. So decision making, speed up your learning processes, enhance your productivity, different things, and look at it as just that thing that helps you to augment your day-to-day. And I hope this has been very insightful for everyone, and I'm open to questions to hear from you guys.
Wow, that was amazing. Really. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Falabi. For me, I think what stood out is when you mentioned decision making, using AI to make, like, getting information from AI to make certain decisions. And then when you mentioned enhancing productivity, managing time, for instance, you draft, you draft some key points and then you tell AI to refine it for you and stuff like that. I think that's really profound. And then there's something else you said towards the end that stood out. I know that a couple of us have started using AI, but there's this tendency to lose your personality when you just copy and paste. So you need to always review what AI gives to you so that you can ensure that you infuse personality, so that your professionalism is also speaking through the work that you've done. I think that's really profound. And so that you also keep your skills, you do not lose them. I'm sure we are jotting down this point. Thank you so much, Mr. Falabi. Right now, I'm going to invite Mr. Oluwakayode to take us on how an entrepreneur can enhance the power of AI. So, Mr. Oluwakayode, the floor is yours. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Toby Best. I want to welcome everybody once again. Good morning, everybody. You're welcome. So I want to talk about how we can use AI as an entrepreneur. David has said a lot, and also Afolabi has said a lot to start with. So as an entrepreneur, what do you need so that you can leverage AI for your business? So the first thing is that you need knowledge.
And that's why we have a program like this. If you don't know what's available, even though you have the resources in terms of finances, you will not be able to um, leverage it or use it to your advantage. Okay, so the first thing is to get knowledge. So if you don't know, for example, that you have self-driving cars, you'll never be thinking of, oh, how can I cut on my cost on my fleet? So let's say, for example, you have a fleet management business. You won't know that you have you can get self-driving cars that can be to your advantage so that you can cut cost on employees. Okay, so that's just an example. And if you know that that's available, then you can now begin the process of implementing AI for your business as an entrepreneur. So knowledge is very key. And when we say knowledge, it's not just to know that, oh, AI is there, just like everybody, it's AI is like a buzzword everywhere now. There's a lot of hype around it and people are adopting it just for the hype. But it's not just about the hype, it's about looking at how does this apply to my business as an entrepreneur. So to start with, after you've had knowledge of AI, so I expect that you attend a program like this one. Two, I expect that you invest in knowledge. Afolabi spoke about that, and David also spoke about that when they spoke earlier. Investing in knowledge is very critical to driving whatever you want to do. If you don't know that, okay, so to start with, everybody thinks that AI is, something from a sci-fi movie that's just moving a robot somewhere and all that. But the truth is, every day we all use AI. That's the truth. You use AI when you're on Facebook. You use AI when you're on Twitter. You use AI when you're on Google. You use AI. Okay, so because you do not know now, so for example, some people use Facebook, they post, they do whatever on it, but some other people know that, oh, Facebook can help me with my business. So Facebook can help with my business with recommendation, and the person who has the knowledge of that is able to do what? Leverage the Facebook audience for their business. So going forward, the next thing that I will say that you need, okay, so in terms of knowledge, you need to know the types of AI that are available. David mentioned some of them earlier when he was talking, he mentioned some of them when he was talking earlier, so the various categories of AI that exist, and more than knowing, okay, so that there is an AI model called CNN or RNN and all that, is to know, okay, how can this apply in my business space? Okay, so we'll go on and I'll give us an example and how I have helped a business implement AI in their business process. And I'll talk about that later. So the next thing would be to look at your business needs. What are the needs of your business? Like I said, it's not just an hype that you want to add to your your profile as an organization that, oh, we also implement AI, No, so you need to look at your business needs. What are the needs of your business? So you need to go through your business processes and analyze your business processes. So if you are into if you're into products and services, you have products and services to market, AI can be integrated into your marketing arm of your business, so that's an example for you, but you can't begin to implement that into your business if you don't have the knowledge of it. That's why I spoke about knowledge first. So the next thing is, okay, so you want to look at, oh, our business processes. Which arm of our business processes can we integrate AI into to enhance and to bring about better productivity? So the goal of AI, as spoken about by the earlier speakers, and I always say this, is not to replace you. Somebody programmed what you call an AI, you understand? Somebody sat down, put it together, a team of people came together, put it together so that it could be used. So it's not to replace your brain or thinking, because you need to know that in AI, we have certain things, something we call false positives. Maybe I'll mention it later. In the use, so this is why knowledge is very important to you. Then your process, your business processes must be you must understand your business process to start with, from end to end. And looking at your business process, you need to look at, okay, which aspect of our business process at this time needs AI to enhance our productivity. So earlier, David spoke about, having a customer, like you run an hosting service, a web hosting service, and you have a large customer base, so in his example, he mentioned 3,000. So you could have more than that, 10,000, whatever the figure is. AI is supposed to enhance. So how does AI enhance? I mean, your web hosting is not just the only process in your business, but then looking at it, you probably have identified that this is the weak link in our business process, and we need to bring in this so that we can better enhance what we're doing. So if that is the example, just like David mentioned, the example of you've identified that your customer service, your online presence needs a lot of boost and all that. So you could integrate AI into that process, to better help your in-house customer service, So we go on. I think I need to say this briefly here. AI, a lot of people, there's a lot of buzz around it, but AI is very simple. AI is very simple. And of course, when David was talking about demystifying it and addressing some of the myths around it, just think about AI as the way your brain thinks. You've come to know red as a color because over time, from your childhood, you've been told, oh, this is red. During the learning process, you were told, oh, this is red. So you were able to learn that, oh, this is red. So in growing up, maybe you saw orange and it looked like red, and you said, no. They told you, no, this is red. You understand? So just like they both have mentioned, the lifeline of any any AI system that will be successful is data. And this is why data is very key. And this is why people like, Meta, that's Facebook, and Google, they are after your data and my data, you understand, because they need it to train their AIs to be better. So the next thing you want to look at, I've spoken briefly about understanding the need for knowledge, you understand, to understand the various capabilities of AI. I'll mention a few as we go on, and then the next thing I've mentioned is to understand your business process. So you need to look at your business process. Okay, so when you've now identified the area in your business that needs AI integration, then the next thing would be to get data. And that's why I mentioned briefly earlier about data. Data is very critical. So just now I was talking about red. Red is data to the brain of the, to the person that was learning. The little boy or little girl that you're trying to teach red. So data is very critical. When Afolabi was talking, he spoke about AI biases. AI biases come from wrong data. AI biases come from when data is not quality. So in machine learning and in AI, we speak about data quality, we speak about proper data collection. This is very, very important because just like Afolabi said, it's garbage in, garbage out. You can't get out of an AI system much more than you have imputed into that system. Okay, so your data collection process must be top notch. Your data collection process must also be devoid of biases. So I think maybe I should mention a bit about these biases because you've been hearing about it. So an example is imagine you are a person of a Caucasian, you're a white person and you're gathering data, but you're someone that's a racist. You have a bias against Black people, or other people, from other races. So in gathering your data, you gathered your data just around your own race alone, and the data is supposed to be used for a loan application system, and of course, because you don't have data, it's supposed to be used for a loan application system that grants loan to people based on their previous records. So because your data is already biased, the outcome of your model will be biased. So if you do not want your business process to have bias, AI records, and give you false records, false positives is what we call it, and also false negatives, which I would mention about later on. You want your data collection process to be top notch. So the next thing that I want to talk about is now that you've gathered your data, so you want to look at, okay, what AI model will be most appropriate for what I want to do? What AI model will be most appropriate for what I want to do? So there are different AI models out there, and when you talk about things that have to do with um, text and with analyzing sentiments online and all that. So there's a class of AIs that that are called NLPs. Natural language processing. That's where they function. And what David earlier was talking about, self-driving cars. Self-driving cars use AI, in terms of computer vision. So if you want to have such, you need to have such knowledge, to be able to do that, and I mean, you don't need to go that far, when you use you use AI on Facebook. So when you see auto tagging on Facebook and it's able to identify people's pictures, even on your phone, your Google or or other apps that will arrange for you your pictures based on certain scenarios, they have those capabilities integrated into them. So you must be able to choose the right model. That's the next thing. So this is why knowledge is very important. You need to invest in knowledge to be able to do that. So we'll go on. The next thing is, you need to look at, okay, so what companies can develop these solutions for me, or can I get these solutions? You understand? Can I get these solutions? I mean, online, can I, some of it as cloud services, which you can purchase, for a limited time, So you need to look at that. And of course, while you look at that, you need to look at the cost benefit analysis. You're looking at the costs, to your organization. And to start with, part of the reasons why people get discouraged from using and utilizing AI is because of the cost. The initial cost may look, very high, but then it's not all of, it depends on the solution actually, So you need to look at that one. Then the next thing you want to look at is, how do we integrate this into our business process? So you have identified the solution. So how does this integrate into what we want to do? So I'll give you an example, and I want David to help me put up a diagram, and just to show you what I did for an organization at some point. It was an engineering organization, and could I have the second one, please? I will still maybe use this, but the second one, please. Thank you. Okay, so everyone, can we see the screen, the picture on the screen of Mr. David? Okay, so this is what we call a piping and instrumentation diagram in the engineering field. Okay, so you're wondering, what are all these symbologies and all that, So everything you're seeing there, this is an engineering diagram basically, and everything you're seeing there it represents something physical, a physical object. Okay, so these are symbologies. So the big cylindrical objects, that you see is your tank. Like if you've gone to areas where you have tank farms, you see big tanks and all that. So we call it a vessel in proper terms in engineering, in the oil and gas industry. So around it, those things that you see as T and F, they are actually devices. They are devices. So let me start with the F. The F. So the F represents flow. So it's a system. You can see that they're like systems. There's a system of F put together. There's a system of T together. So the system of F put together has a sensor. The sensor is represented by Fe. The transmitter is represented by Ft, and just like that. So now I'm not trying to train you on engineering, but I'm just trying to show you how this was applied into engineering. This was provided as a solution to various companies. So because we're looking at how can an entrepreneur leverage AI. So this is just an example. There are many other examples that I will just touch on, later on, but I just want to show you this. So we have this. So normally, this is a diagram of an oil and gas facility. An engineer will put this together, and of course, an engineer can understand it when he sees this. He can understand this is the diagram of a facility. This is what is happening. Now, those places where you see like dark lines, they're actually pipelines. They are pipes that you're looking at. So what did we do with this, with engineering or with AI? Now, what did we do with this? Normally, an engineer will put this together because you need an engineer will sit and will read this document that has been done, this engineering document, and it would manually populate. It will manually populate all of the instruments on the facility, on the engineering facility. Now, this is just this is just like 1/10 of what you would have on a page normally, just so that you could have proper context. I just cut out something. So this is what I mean, like a tenth of what you will have on the page, and you could have 1,000 pages of this kind of documents. So meaning that on the facility you have thousands of engineering instruments, that's what we call them, and devices. Okay, so somebody has to manually be entering it. Oh, FE, this is a flow sensor. FT, this is a flow transmitter. Then you put, the tag, what you see on the bubbles are what we call the tags. It will manually impute that, and put a lot of other data that I don't want to bore you with, Now, that process to me is burdensome, even though it's enjoyable, because it makes you to relate with the facility as an engineer. Now, we fed this into AI, and the AI was able to extract the information. Extract that this is a flow sensor, extract that this is a flow transmitter, and impute it out and export it to Excel. You could have it in your .xls, .xlsx, CLV, CLS, so this makes the work of the engineer easier, and it can focus on better tasks. Now, the work of the engineer will now be more of ensuring that the AI has done its job properly, more of checks, which will normally have been done if you were to do this manually. So just to make you see how this helps to save time. So the example of this kind of AI is it's your computer vision, because it's using vision, to read your data and provide your data for you, in a form that is beneficial to you. So the next thing you want to look at is, how do you want to, so we're talking about integrating it into your business. So I just gave you an example. The next thing you want to look at is you need to optimize your AI. You understand? AI is just like any machine, it's just like any machine. And, it's basically designed to think like your brain, so even your brain, you boost your brain. How do you boost your brain? You boost your brain by learning, reading, sharpening yourself, and all that. So in the same way, you need to optimize your system. So you don't just what David was talking earlier about, I think it was ChatGPT was talking about, when they had data up to just 2021, and if you're doing something in 2023, the data will not be consistent. So you want to keep your AI up to knowledge by fine-tuning and optimizing it. Then the next thing I want to talk about to you as an entrepreneur is you want to be responsible with your use of AI. You want to be responsible, and the first responsibility is to know that AI is not to replace your brain. So you want to be able to also guide the AI. The AI is not supposed to replace you. So the next thing also is, I spoke about biases earlier. This is where biases come into place. Is when we talk about ethical use of AI that we speak about biases. If for example, you have criminal records only of people of color, we all know the thing with the US, where there's always a lot of clampdown on people of color because of past issues with criminal issues with people of color. The same thing, you can do that with AI. You can feed in records of criminal records of people of color alone. into your AI. And of course, your AI, whenever, even when a person of color has not done something, it can flag the person, and pick the person, So you want to look at the various aspects, and being responsible with AI starts with one, not having bias as a person, then two, not also as a person, getting into your AI. So I think for now, okay, so maybe I should mention some other things later. So I think I'll stop here for now so that we can have other things. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. Please, can we put our hands together for him? Can we give him a virtual applause? That was really insightful. Very, very, very insightful. So, at this point, if we have questions, we can begin to send in our questions to the chat section. The chat box is enabled for us all to send in our questions. So please and please send your questions. There'll be a Q&A session for us to take all the questions. Don't worry, you will receive answers to your questions. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Kayode, for that amazing session. I think part of the things that stood out to me was identify the weak links and enhance with AI. That is profound. A lot of the time, we see businesses, struggling, whereas there are technological solutions that could have been, leveraged to solve those issues that they are struggling with. So I think that for entrepreneurs on this call, you know what to do now. Identify the weak links and then look out for, artificial intelligence machines that you could use to enhance your work. And also you mentioned that you need to be responsible with your use of AI. There's an ethical use of AI, like he mentioned. The fact that you have AI doesn't mean that you stop reasoning. So you need to ensure that the results you're getting from AI is not biased and it suits your business model and needs. Thank you so much, Mr. Kayode. All right. Before I bring up the next person that will be talking to us, I just want to give us a couple of examples of businesses that have used AI. The likes of IBM, IBM has implemented AI to streamline workflow and also boost productivity. And then the likes of Slack for communication, for smart notifications, Slack has helped to also streamline your workflow and also help to ensure that you are collaborating with your team members in real time and you are meeting up with your deadlines. So you can try out some of these platforms to ensure that your work is enhanced. Basically, I'm going to be bringing up the next person that's going to be talking to us about practical ways you could use AI. His name is Jerry Akata. Please, Mr. Jerry, can you show us your handsome face and unmute your mic? Please, can we give him a virtual ovation? Can we put our hands together for him? Just send the clapping emoji to the chat box so he knows that you're welcoming him. We're glad to have you on the call. The floor is yours. Thank you. I think you are muted, sir. Please, can you unmute? We can't hear anything you're saying. You're still muted. I don't know. Let me see if there's something I could do. Please, can the host help to unmute Mr. Jerry? I think he's muted, so we can't really hear anything that's saying. In the meantime, we can send in our questions. If you have questions on how AI can enhance your work as an employee or as an entrepreneur, you can send in your questions. We'll be here to take down all your questions. Okay, I also want to give this bonus information. After Mr. Jerry's section and the Q&A, we're going to have, some courses that will be mentioned. Some of them will be going for going at discounted prices. Like I mentioned earlier, they're freebies. So do ensure that you stay to the end of this event so that you can partake in all of that. Mr. Jerry, please, can you try unmuting right now? Let's see if you can get through to us. Okay, so in the meantime, I think before Mr. Jerry comes up, we can just share one or two things that we've picked from the session so far. So can we all go to the chat box and then we maybe just a line, just tell me something that you did not know about AI, but you've learned about it today. Let's hit the chat box and make this more interactive. So I'm sure we must have picked up a lot of things from our speakers, our panelists. For me, I think the ethical use of AI really struck a chord because I see a lot of new people, coming up in different fields. For instance, let me use the creative industry as an example. You see a lot of content writers, developers trying to work on content, and then the newbies that are just coming into the industry, when they try to use AI, they do not have the professionalism yet to vet if the content is good enough. Sometimes you just copy and paste, right? So you need to also learn that you need to learn the skills. You need to be professional enough. You need to develop your professional lens so that whatever AI gives you, you are able to filter, you're able to infuse personality, you're able to adjust it to, meet up with the necessary standards that must be met. Yeah. So, okay, I can see someone saying, yes, don't let AI replace your thinking. Thank you so much. Another person say, having to review what
Hello?
AI gives. Okay, Mr. Jerry, are you ready now?
Yes.
All right. You can go ahead, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, sorry for that. Very sorry for that. Can everyone hear me now?
Yes, please. We can hear you. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I'll be sharing with you AI prompts and some AI tools. We're going to be looking very briefly at just 4 examples. I'll be demonstrating with you some practical steps on how to use this AI. So I'm sure we've all heard about ChatGPT. Let me share my screen briefly. Okay. Yeah, so first of all, ChatGPT is a large language model chatbot, if you want to call it that way, developed by OpenAI. So it was first announced in November 2022, and it's based on ChatGPT 3.5 language model. So ChatGPT is capable of carrying on conversations, generating different creative text formats, answering your questions in an informative way, like we've talked about previously by our speakers. So funny thing is, it can even answer challenging questions and even strange questions. So you need to know how to properly use it to your benefit. So I have a prompt here that I'll briefly just show you how to, for example, you want to generate a prompt concerning the meeting. Those who work in the office space, you know how much meeting you host. So I'll generate a prompt here now. So one thing about ChatGPT is that your prompt must be well detailed. If you look at what I've typed here, I said, I need a meeting agenda for the bankers breakfast on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Please include the following topics, which are bankers not as productive anymore. Why are bankers not as productive anymore? And any additional items that you feel are relevant. Now, I'm going to and then we'll see it giving us informative details on what I've just imputed. So with timestamp allocated to it, so my prompt was very precise. That's why I was able to generate this outcome. So you have to be very precise. You have to be very detailed. There are step-by-step process, which we'll be sharing with you later on via our academy, how to take these steps. So this just demonstrates a meeting, how to get a meeting of ChatGPT. So another one I'll be demonstrating with you is on Gemini. On Gemini, this is Gemini by Google. So it's also having the same function. It does the same function as ChatGPT. So now I will impute a prompt.
We can see your Gemini screen.
Can you see?
Not yet. You have to share that screen.
Okay. All right. So I'll put the prompt now on Gemini. Gemini is gemini.google.com. So you can try that out. So I put the prompts now. I said, write an email to your team to provide training or guidance on a new tool or system. Here are the details of the new tools or system and the training or guidance needed. So I imputed these details to precisely tell it exactly what I want. So to give me as an outcome. So let's see. So you can see what Gemini does. So it gave me appropriate detailed steps. Now, without me bothering, now I've given it needed information, exactly what I need, and it had to follow that, the guideline I gave it. It's not going to go outside of it. So you can see it speaking as if I'm the one talking. So now that's one way to use AI. So another one we're going to be sharing with you now, this was just about using ChatGPT and Gemini. The next one I'll briefly talk about, which I'm sure that many will be excited about, especially those in the marketing firm, those that entrepreneurs that want to do a small video on their marketing, on their products or services, and they don't have money to go to one videographer or to pay someone to be talking and be advertising their products. These products, this AI tool I'm about to share with you is going to help you a lot in that aspect. The product, the AI tool is called Lumi 5. So Lumi 5 is a video creation platform that utilizes AI to assist users in creating engaging video content quickly and easily, even without prior experience. So you don't need to learn how to code. You don't need to know how to edit videos or how to put subtitles. No, you don't need all of that. Lumi 5 AI offers a user-friendly drag and drop interface, allowing users to select layouts, even apply animation and incorporate stock footage and music. Funny thing is, it can also impute your, what's it called, speech, your voiceover. So you can either use the Lumi 5 AI voiceover or you can use your personal voiceover. So I'll just quickly show you how it works. Okay, here it is. Network. Okay. So I'll just show you a quick demonstration of a video I made this morning using this Lumi 5 AI. So okay, can you see my screen? Network is a bit poor. So with this Lumi 5, okay, it's up. Especially
Welcome to Zion Stand Academy, where the future of business meets the power of artificial intelligence. In today's rapidly evolving business landscape, integrating AI is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, or an employee, understanding and leveraging AI can revolutionize your work. At Zion Stand Academy, our comprehensive AI training program equips you with the skills and knowledge to harness AI for real-world applications. Our hands-on training covers everything from data collection and model building to evaluation and improvement. I've transformed my small business.
So you can see how clean this is. I just hope network doesn't disrupt what I'm about to show you, because I need to be fast. Of course, we have limited time. So you can see how clean that video looks, how very, I used AI to generate everything there. So let's start. So Lumi 5 is free. It's free. So all you just need to do is just register and you're set to go. So I click on this new video. So you choose the template. So for the sake of this meeting, I will just use this that's showing. I hope I don't see what I'm doing. Okay, so now to get started, you see this showing the text on image, that is to convert your blog post or your document or whatever idea you have on the video, to convert it text into video. The second one is you integrating voice AI. And then the next is voiceover. That is, you can use your own voice. That is, record your own voice and input it into the video, and everything will be smooth. But we're going, for the sake of this demonstration, we'll be using the AI voiceover. So let's use one of the prompts we used before. I'm going to copy and paste the prompts we took earlier from the ChatGPT concerning the meeting I was to have. So I'm going to copy that and I'm posting it here. So I've done that. So now I'm creating the script. Hope you are following me. Don't worry, this is when you log on to Lumi 5, you understand this better. For those of us who have never used Lumi 5 before, it's very easy and user-friendly. Boss are thinking. Okay, we're almost there. Let's give it a few more seconds. Okay. Everything I did, summarized it and imputed it properly into the video, into the transcript. So I'll just continue now. Okay, convert to video. Okay, while we're waiting for this to come up, there's another one I'll be using immediately after this Lumi 5. There's another example, the last practice we'll do. We're supposed to do 4, but network is not giving us the needed speed. So we'll talk about Gamma, the next one. Gamma AI is an AI-powered online app that creates professional presentation, documents, web pages from text in seconds. All you just do is just type in whatever idea you have and to convert it into a presentation. So you'll be seeing that shortly after this Lumen 5 demonstration. It's taking too long. With that, I'll share you another screen. I'll tell you when it's done. Okay. Now, this is, I did also this for the purpose of demonstration. I'll just quickly show you. This is a presentation I did. I typed in this program, deploying AI and how to integrate AI to our business. So it generated this by itself. So this is the presentation. Hope you can see this. So all of this was AI generated, all within seconds. Okay, our time is fast spent. So just take note of the AI tools that we've talked about. And we'll stop here. Thank you.
So much, sir. Thank you so much. Please, can we give him a round of applause? Can I see our virtual applause? Thank you, and thank you. All right. I'm sure many of us did not know that we could use Lumen 5 to achieve that kind of video quality. If you're just finding out about Lumen 5, I want you to raise your hand. I just want to see, you know. I mean, this webinar is so value packed, and I'm sure that afterwards you are going to be able to improve upon your work quality and just give out more value with what you do. Wow, I can see the hands up. Thank you so much, Mr. Jerry. You see how many people have come to find out about how they can develop interactive videos like that with Lumen 5. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, right now we're going to be moving into the Q&A section. A couple of us sent in our questions before now, and some of us are also still sending our questions. You can visit the chat box to send your questions and we'll take it. So I have a couple of questions listed out here that I'm going to be asking Mr. Jerry, and then he's going to help us with answers. So the first question is, do I need AI to stay competitive? Do I need AI to stay competitive? So someone is asking, do I need AI to stay competitive? Mr. Jerry, please, can you help us with an answer to the question? Please, can you hear me?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, please.
So I'm not quite sure Jerry is still on the call. Maybe his network has finally. But let me just give this. Yes, you need AI to stay competitive.
Okay.
Because even the so-called big industries are already using AI, leveraging the power of AI to ensure that they have accurate data. They're able to satisfy the needs of their users, their clients, their customers. So you need AI in this modern work, in this modern industry, in this modern space that we have. You will need AI to stay competitive. think that is quite a straight answer to that.
All right, thank you so much. So I'm going to direct the second answer to Mr. Folabi. So Mr. Falabi, this question is for you. It says, what are the costs and benefits of implementing AI? What are the costs and benefits of implementing AI?
All right, I think that's a very deep question, and I think it depends on to what degree do you want to implement it, and by implementing it, do you mean to your business? And maybe it would be that I'm not for I shouldn't be answering the question, but I think if you're saying to implement into your business, then there are many factors to kind of really consider to this, right? So for example, do you, for example, need to integrate it from a perspective of just connecting to OpenAI's API endpoints and getting tokens? Could possible? Could it be that then maybe that's cheap, from a relatively cheap, you could say, or is it from a perspective of you want to build your own language models or your own data pipeline of training your own data, and then from there you start thinking about the resource of the people and the expertise you need to bring on board to implement all of this, right? So it's a range of things, but if you kind of say from a day-to-day employee perspective, then maybe you're not really implementing, it's more of using, right? And there's really no cost to using. Or if you wanted to use ChatGPT, the premium version where you're paying $42 every month, then maybe there's a cost from that perspective. And then of course, some of the tools that has just shared with us, some of them, the free version are very, very limited, and you need to pay for them to get more and more out of it. So there is cost from that perspective. So it depends on if you're using it as an end user, there's cost to how much free, like David said, ChatGPT 3.5 was up to January 2021. For ChatGPT 4 is, a lot more recent. And so, but you have to pay to have access to that. With ChatGPT 4, you can do a bit of generative AI in connection to DAL-E. So again, there's cost from that perspective. But if you wanted to say in my business or for whatever, right, I want to sort of build a data pipeline or a natural learning process language for the data that I have, then there's costs from that perspective as well.
All right. I think you really captured the answer that we're looking to get. Yeah, because you covered the business aspect and also the personal aspect, and you also mentioned that for some of these free versions, there are paid versions that will do much more that can be done on the free version. So thank you so much for the response. So the next question will be directed to Mr. Oluwakayode, and it says, are there any downsides to applying AI to a business? Are there any downsides to applying AI to a business?
Yes, there are downsides to applying AI to your business. And that's why we spoke about, understanding AI yourself. So the matter of bias and ethical use is what should be premium in your mind while looking at this. Then the other side is looking at cybersecurity associated risk. So there are risks that we call adversarial risk with regards to your AI. Somebody can hijack your AI and begin to tell you to do something else. So these are risks with it. Which I think, looking at it from a technological perspective, of course, there are risks in terms of finances that are also associated. But just in a nutshell, these are risks that you have to look at with regards to implementing AI. Then, okay, maybe I should mention this also. There's always this long-term debate whether AI is going to take people's jobs and all that. Well, AI is going to take some jobs, but AI is going to create some other jobs. So in implementing AI, you might just begin to see that, oh, we don't even have need for this personnel anymore, or we need to put this personnel to another role. So these are also risks, with regards to the use of AI. So thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. You mentioned something. You said that AI will also bring some jobs, despite the fact that it will take out a couple of jobs.
So
Can you
we
give
can,
us a couple of? Okay, you said something. All right, let me just go ahead. So, can you give us like one or two examples of jobs that AI will bring about?
Okay, thank you very much. So, um, some of the prompts that you see, you know, are actually imputed by some people. So there's what we call prompt engineering, and in prompt engineering, people um, puts together questions and like responses, into and feed them into AI. So when we say people will lose their jobs, okay, so there are jobs that can be lost, So the thing you want to look at is, so is my job tailored towards the future? So meaning my in developing myself, I have to look at, okay, so what is AI doing to make me lose my job? And what am I doing to ensure that I keep my job in line with AI-based skills? So for example, I showed us a tool, or I mentioned the tool when I showed us that diagram. Now, the tool I showed you is an online based solution, meaning an organization will need somebody that has knowledge of that tool for that their engineering process, which we sold to them. So now, if you're just someone you're just used to the normal process, you're used to the manual process. Oh, you have this picture, just like I showed you the picture, then you impute it, in an Excel sheet, but you don't have the knowledge to run such an application. Somebody will need to run the application. Somebody will need to feed in data into the application. So in the example I gave, the picture I showed you is an example of data to be fed in. So if you're not knowledgeable about the chances that, your superior or whoever is going to be assigning the role to you will give that to you. It's you most likely not give that to you. You give that to somebody that he thinks is knowledgeable in that field, so that the person can guide the process through. Because like I said, AI by itself still needs to be monitored and to ensure that it's doing the proper thing. So thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much for that very amazing answer, sir. I'm sure we picked out a couple of things from everything that he said. So you need to be able to monitor AI. You need to understand how AI, is functioning in your industry, and then leverage, that knowledge, like he emphasized, to position yourself for the advancement in your industry. So I'm going to take a question for Mr. David here. The person says, as a print and a graphics designer, how am I to leverage AI to aid visibility and market myself, and also to enhance my productivity? Mr. David, this question is for you.
all right, very good question, because I'm also
We've lost you there, Mr. David. Are you still speaking?
field. So as a print, as a designer site, or a couple of websites, there are quite a number of them: Mid Journey, FreePic, Leonardo. Many of them, they create or generate images. Now, if you're a designer and you believe you need inspiration, you can just enter in the right prompt to all those image generating AI to give you ideas, even to give you free pictures in case you're having problems purchasing or making subscription on paid websites where you get quality images. Those websites can help you get images. You can generate images, based on the kind of prompt. And it's not just anyhow images, the image that you've created yourself that you really want to use. And as a designer too, you can be asked to do videos for your marketing and everything, just like the example Mr. Jerry used the example used with Lumen 5. You can just come up with an idea for videos, for your marketing videos, fine tune it and publish it there. So as a designer, as a print person, as whatever industry you are, especially when it comes to the creative It's as if AI was initially made for us. So if you just harness this the tool AI as a tool, it can reduce your workload, and it can reduce your workload. It can help you manage funds, especially when it comes to your marketing. Mr. Kayode was talking about Facebook, giving you Facebook and AI. Facebook helps you now to just create your audience. By the time you enter into your Facebook, your job or the kind of ads you want to create, it has an automatic recommendation system for you to be able to display your work out there and push it. So AI as a designer, he's like, it was made for us initially when it first started. So if you go to Midjourney, you go to Leonard, you go to Flippy, you go to all those, we have a list that we'll send to the group maybe later, where you can have access to links and resources of AI, AI sites and tools that you can use as a designer. You can just create images, get inspiration from those images, and reduce costs when it comes to you getting resources from the internet.
Thank you so much, Mr. David. I think that was very clear enough. Someone is asking, how can AI improve my academic work or my academic life positively? I believe that from the speakers, you must have gotten that, knowledge is key, and AI can also coach you, right? So there are AI prompts that you can, there are prompts that you can give to certain AI, and they will give you information about your academic work. They give you information about certain areas of your life that you're looking to develop. So I think that's pretty clear. Another person is asking, can we drop the links? All right, yeah, all the links for the um for the for the display that Mr. Jerry put up on the screen for Lumen 5 and the other ChatGPT and the other links that for different AI that you may want to try out will be dropped at the end of the call. So please do not leave. All right. So another person is asking, for organizations who might be interested in adopting AI strategies, are there local regulations guiding the use and ethics of AI in Nigeria today? So I would like to direct this question to Mr. Oluwakayode. I'll take it again. It says, for organizations who might be interested in adopting AI strategies, are there local regulations guiding the use and ethics of AI in Nigeria today?
Thank you very much. Yes, there are regulations. So you have the NDPR. Also, we have a body called NITDA in Nigeria. So they have regulations, that center around data privacy, and data protection. And also, we if you've been on social media in recent time, there's been a lot of issues around cyber issues, cyber what's the word now? Cyber crime and all that, cyber stalking and all that by the police. The police has amplified that in recent times. So part of cyber stalking with AI will be that, you do a video, so that there are things we call deep fakes in AI. So you do a video that's just exactly like me, for example, and you put it up and you show me doing something that normally I would not do. So that the laws of the land will come after you for doing that if I want to prosecute you, for trying to defame me. So there are laws in the land, and those laws must be explored, So we can't begin to talk about all of that, but just like I said, you can look at, to start with, NITDA, you can look at, NDPR. These are bodies that are saddled with the responsibility of handling that, Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, the next question says, in what ways can AI contribute to personal health and wellness management? I'll be directing that question to Mr. Folabi. In what ways can AI contribute to personal health and wellness management?
Cool. I think this is very...
Sorry,
Yes.
I want to just quickly have the perspective. I believe this would also relate to, employee life and work-life balance and, remote working arrangements as well. So thank you, sir. You can go ahead now.
Yes, I think this is a very tricky question, I don't think I'm entirely sure how best to answer it. But for sure I think that AI has its benefits. So, for example, if we look at it from the fact that you're already getting enhanced productivity, right? So that's already, health benefits in some sense, right? So if you think about it, that you're reducing the stress that you would normally have. So if work that would have taken you 2 hours is now taking you 10 minutes, then you're already transforming your health. But if you also want to look at it from perspective of, can I make health deductions? You have symptoms and you're saying, hey, I mean, you could probably do this from a quick Google search, but with Google search these days, the information is just too many, right? Now you have AI to give you very streamlined information. Say, I'm having this bunch of symptoms, this and this, right? And then it will give you results as to that. So that's from perspective of just using it for personal deduction and being your next doctor. I think there are things like tele-doctors, and some of them, before you actually get to the doctor itself, it's AI prompting and chatting that you have with an AI bot. And of course, from the perspective of how is that the mental challenges that you would have had, you simplify that. Earlier on I talked about how you can do speed learning. Learning can be such an immersive and draining process that with AI you're speeding that up. You then have more time to do the things you would do, have more time for family, so much, right? And I think that's sort of one way to kind of look at it.
Oh wow, thank you so much. Thank you. That was profound. Thank you so much. So I'm going to be asking Mr. Oluwakayode the last question for him right now. The question is, how can AI assist in personalized marketing and targeting? Personalized marketing and targeting.
I think I should answer that question.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes. There are AI tools that will be shared. I think as time goes on, we'll send mails, and for those that are on the WhatsApp group, we'll just give you quick access to them and do some tutorials or mentorship and coaching on how you can use AI to personalize your marketing. Now, let me just give you an illustration. Amazon as an entity, for example, it's an e-commerce solution, either B2B or B2C. And if you notice something, by the time you do a search, that's for those that use Amazon, but I'm just going to use Amazon as a case study here. If you do a search on a particular product, one of the things that will happen as time goes on is you discover that you're seeing more of that kind of product. This is the same thing that happens in Facebook. If you watch a particular kind of video, or on Instagram, that's the meta generally, you will discover that you are seeing related content, related marketing materials or resources, or marketing, whatever it is, adverts, let me just put it that way. You will see something related. So one of the things AI can do, or AI can help you, is if you have the right prompt, you can put it into a large language model like ChatGPT, or you can go to Facebook and use the AI tool here to, create marketing, to personalize your market for your business. It is there, all the options are there, the tools are there. What is very important for you as an individual, just like Mr. Kayode has said, is knowledge. What is your own business workflow? What do you intend to give to the general public? The thing is, it is what you give to AI will give back to you. Do you get? So if you know properly your work process, or this is what you really want to do as an organization, as a body, then you are able to enter in the right prompt to all these AI tools available on your marketing platforms. Do you understand? And if that, before you even get to that side, you might want to use AI to help you properly structure your marketing strategy, provided you are entered in the right prompt, provided you know correctly what you want to do or what you want to achieve in your business. I don't know if I answered this question, but I think with the right use of AI, you are able to personalize your marketing and you're able to come up with better strategy and cover more ground within a short time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think that was really, really profound. And thank you so much. I want to say thank you to Mr. Oluwakayode for the insight and knowledge that was shared. I also want to say thank you to our convener, Mr. David, as well as Mr. Jerry Akata and Mr. Afolabi Abbas. Thank you so much for bringing on your unique perspectives to make this webinar a very insightful and engaging time. It was worth the while. I'm sure everyone on this call can testify. Right now, I'm going to be handing over to Miss Estelle to take on the last segment of the webinar. Miss Estelle, over to you, please.
All right. Sorry, hold on. There's a question in the chat, and I want Mr. Kayode to answer that. That's just one question, and I believe this is also the future. It is from Shafi. He talked about will there be any future recommendation for AI in the cryptocurrency field? So I think we should answer that. I'm going to hand over to Mr. Kayode to briefly give us an answer to that.
Okay, thank you very much. The answer is future recommendations, yes. Currently being adopted, yes. So as at the moment, AI is being used in the financial markets, not just in the crypto space, but also in the various financial markets. So you have algorithms that are trained based on AI data. There are a lot of algorithms that have been trained by AI, and AI can automate trades for people who trade in those space. The other thing is AI can be used for KYC purposes in those space also. The place of ensuring that the data that's presented by people are not false. AI can match the data presented with other data that are sourced online, and can also be used in that space. The next thing that I want to talk about, with regards to that, is the fact that AI can also be used in that space with regards to sentiment analysis. So sentiment analysis, markets move by sentiment. So for example, if an Elon Musk tweets about something, the sentiment about whatever he tweets about, chances that it will go up in price, is there. So your AI can be used to analyze that, to see the sentiments and the pulse of people, and with regards to that, know how the market will move. So AI can be used with regards to that. Before I go off, I just want to mention a bit, more to what Mr. Folabi mentioned earlier with regards to AI benefits on health. AI is very beneficial to health, and many of us actually have it, but we don't know. So you have a watch in your hand when you go on your exercises every day. Many times you discover that it's connected to some app, on your phone or on the internet. That is AI for you. So your data is being gathered, checking your behavioral patterns, and it can advise you and begin to tell you, oh, you sat for 8 hours. That's AI talking to you right there. So I just thought to chip that in with regards to helping us see immediate health benefits. There's a place of, I remember my first introduction to AI was about 20 years ago. And my first, my project while I was at the university, my final year project was to diagnose heart conditions with AI. So those are predictive, predictive aspects of AI and all that. So that's another application. AI can be used for diagnostic processes and what have you. But a simple application is just that what you wear every day when you're taking your walk, and you're saying, oh, I've walked for 4 hours, I've walked X number of kilometers. You see, it gives you recommendations. It tells you you have not done this. It talks about your calorie burnout and all that. So that is very important for us to keep at the back of our mind. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for that contribution, sir. Thank you, Mr. David, also for
yes, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much for calling attention to that. All right, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, sir. So, Esther, you can please go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing? Can we please hear me? I'd just like to confirm that you can all hear me clearly.
Yes, please. We can hear you.
Thank you very much, Beth. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying through to this time. It means a lot. It means a lot to us. Um, okay, so quickly, I'm going to be telling you more about Science and Digital Academy. I understand that some of us received this um, notice about the webinar, either by an ad you probably saw, a friend told you, so you've probably not heard of Science Stand Digital Academy way before now. So this section is to help bridge that gap between your current presence here at the webinar and your knowledge about the brand itself. So at Science and Digital Academy, we are not just about transforming businesses and individuals in their digital life. We are also about empowering you to be able to thrive in the current digital age that we are in. We already know the webinar is about how we can, you know, better make use of AI, artificial intelligence. And so is set to do and has been doing over time is to empower everyone who comes in contact with Zion Stand, either to engage with empower them and to empower you to thrive in the digital age. So whether you're a business owner, you're a creative, you're an entrepreneur, or you're a professional who is currently in the career space, looking to enhance your skills. We have very much tailored mentorship and digital solutions that are specifically, set for you. So you can imagine a world where your business not only survives, but it's really thriving. So what do I mean by this? You have a business or you work and you're just going to work. It's like Monday to Friday is the same thing. Go to work, do what your boss is telling you to do, and go home. So you're not adding any extra. You're not going an extra mile to see that you're not just going to work and expecting your salary at the end of the month. You're putting in more work to see that, although your bosses or you as a person who is an entrepreneur or a business person has certain expectations that you need to meet, for yourself or for your boss in the case that you're a working class person, with those expectations set in mind, you don't just want to just fulfill them and then that's it. Personally, for me, I like to ask myself, what more can I do? Is this all that I can do here? Is this all of the expectations that I can meet? How can I better make this come out in a more excellent way? I want to believe that a majority of us here are Christians, and one thing and one person that I learned from in the Bible is Daniel. Now, Daniel was said to have an excellent spirit. So there is that spirit of excellence in the work that you do, in the work that you should be doing. And that's one thing that Zion Stand brings out for your brand, for your business, and for you as a professional in the career space. So what we want to make sure we do is to help your brand stand out amidst the noise, where your operations and the things you do can be seamlessly integrated with the latest technology. So we're talking about AI. So how can your operation, collaborate and ensure that you're bringing AI in, you're making it more effective for you to do your job easy. We know ChatGPT. As a matter of fact, I use ChatGPT almost every day as a professional, and because I have the knowledge of ChatGPT, I am better effective in my work. As a matter of fact, I think our speaker, Mr. Jerry, he was the one who spoke about ChatGPT, and he used an example of him preparing a report. I used ChatGPT to prepare my report, And I've had my boss reach out and she was like, oh, this report is very excellent, work well done. But she has no idea that I use ChatGPT. Now, in as much as you can use ChatGPT, if you don't tailor your prompts well, ChatGPT is going to give you only what it can give you based on the prompts you give it. So you have to better tailor it, and that's what Science Stand does. It helps you to know how best to integrate that work that you need from that work that you're doing to artificial intelligence, to the technology currently present that can help you seamlessly deliver on your operations. So what do? We offer brand services, strategy, design, business digitalization. We provide you with solutions that can help transform your operations and enhance efficiency and scalability through, strategic IT implementation, strategic technology integration. And then we offer consultation services. Now, for our consultation services, we'll group this into currently providing mentorship programs. Now, our mentorship programs are grouped into free mentorship and paid mentorship. But I'm going to get to that point. So before we get there, one thing we want to ensure that you leave with after this webinar is the long-term impact that it's going to have on you. So whether you retain, whether you stay with Zion Stand, whether you follow our media handles, what is there for you to take home with? So one thing we'd want to take home with is having that knowledge of what we offer entirely. Now, this webinar is totally tailored to AI. It's totally tailored to AI. Sorry, can we still hear me clearly?
Yes, please.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. So it's to have the knowledge of our services and how we can better help you. And remember, I had already talked about brand services, how we can help you craft compelling brand strategy and design, how your brand can appear and resonate to the audience that you're looking to impact or sell your services to, or your career that you're looking to enhance better. And then definitely how we can provide solutions to help you better integrate technology into the work that you currently already do. Okay, so for our mentorship programs, I know already stated that we have free mentorship programs and we have paid mentorship programs. Now, we already know, free mentorship programs, it's free. Like the name implied, it's free. It's free. You don't have to pay for that. You don't have to pay for that. Yes, paid mentorship programs has a lot more in-depth things to offer you, but free mentorship programs also still presents you with an opportunity to know. So it doesn't go into like my mom would say, it doesn't go into it doesn't go in depthly into what you should know, but it gives you surface level knowledge. So what our paid mentorship will help you do is to provide you with tailored guidance. So you're going to be getting direct access to a mentor who is carefully matched to your need and your industry. So if you're an entrepreneur, we have an entrepreneur who has scaled up in their businesses to provide you with the mentorship you need to scale up. We know that's what mentorship is about. Submitting to learning from someone who has done the things that you want to do now, the things that you want to achieve now. So someone who has achieved that and someone who be able to pass it down to you. That's what mentorship is about. And so we have mentors who are specifically tailored to match your needs and your specific industry, right? And so that then presents you with deeper engagement, So our paid mentorship, it allows for more frequent, more in-depth sections compared to what a free mentorship program will provide you. You may just have one mentor who is generally who has generalized knowledge of a little of everything, and so they can put you through on free mentorship. But for our paid mentorship, we not only have a specifically tailored mentor for you, but it allows you to have frequent and in-depth sections with that person. So it means you get to have opportunity to dive into specific issues, ask questions, brainstorm solutions, and receive support as you go. And that support helps you implement changes where you need to implement changes. And then there is room for accountability and commitment. So you investing in the paid mentorship program would help prove that you're committed to seeing that change in the business you're doing or in your career space, right? So it creates a sense of accountability for you and for your mentor, ensuring that you're focused on the goals that you intend to achieve and you're taking actionable steps towards achieving them. And that's what your mentor will help you do. And then it also gives you room to access exclusive resources and tools. You're going to be able to network, and this can further enhance your learning and your development. So if you're learning, if you're looking to improve in your academic work, we have math. Let me not get there, but we have people who have gotten that degree you want to get, who have even gone further to maybe even get their master's or get a doctorate. And so they are better, acknowledged to be able to provide you with the insights you need, with the guide you need. And in fact, what it does is that your mentor is able to share their network with you. Imagine you having an assessment that you're supposed to do, like your dissertation or something. I'm talking about people who, would require the mentorship for their academic work now. So you need to do your dissertation, but you don't know what to do. And so you reach out to your mentor. Or I need someone, maybe a lecturer that I can speak to in maybe OAU or Uniben, or TASU Ed, Ma or Sir. Do you know anybody I can reach out to? And you never can tell. Your mentor might have someone. Your mentor may even be a person who has gone through the same system you're going through in your own school. Maybe that person also went to OAU or went to Uniben or TASU Ed. And so they know people already. And they are able to say, oh, yes, I know Mr. Salami. I know Mr. David. I know Mrs. Olaoluwa Beth. Okay, here's their contact, reach out to them. So you get to have access to their network, you get to have access to the resources that they can provide you. And what's more important is the result. What's more important is the results that you're going to get from that. So working closely with the mentors who will provide you with, who will help you understand your industry or understand your workspace or understand your academic journey. And it will help you see more faster and sustainable results. So it's not, like I said from the beginning, it's not just about you surviving where you are. It's about you thriving. It's about you being able to sustain it. And that's what our mentorship program, our paid mentorship program helps you do. That doesn't cancel the fact that you can start off with our free mentorship program, if you will. But why waste time if you can launch in as fast as possible through our paid mentorship program? So I think that is going to be a wrap for me. Social media platforms, and so you can join in.
I think
Sorry,
she's
give me a
having.
minute, please.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
so can we still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so I'm going to quickly share our social media platforms, and so you can follow through and you can leave a message if you have further questions after the webinar, maybe concerning the mentorship programs, concerning our branding services, our business development services. You can reach out to us on Instagram at Zion Stand_ on LinkedIn, at Zion Stand Digital Technology, and on Facebook at Zion Stand Digital Technology. So either of these platforms will give you direct access to speak to our representatives on the media platform. So once again, thank you so much for this time. And
Thank you,
we are looking
Estelle.
forward to having you engage with our resources and engage with all that we have for you to be able to thrive in your workspace or in your business or whatever you do. Zion Stand is the place for you. There's no doubt about that. So thank you very much, Beth. Over to you.
Thank you, Estelle. Thank you so much. That was really immense. I'm sure you picked up a lot of points from what she said. So I usually tell people that there's no need to have a gathering like this and not make the most out of it. Meaning that for every opportunity you get to meet with like minds, you have to make the most. You know, one of our speakers, Mr. Oluwakayode, mentioned that knowledge is very important. And in today's world, you can get knowledge by connecting with the right people. So I'm just going to emphasize again, please go to the chat box now and follow us on our social media platforms. Do not worry, immediately you follow us, we'll follow you back. So for us to know that you're the one, just go there now, pick the name, type it out on your Instagram, on your LinkedIn, and give us a follow, and we'll be sure to follow you back. And for the knowledge aspect, you do not have to worry. We're going to be giving you updates, relevant updates on AI, relevant updates on technology news that you need to follow to stay up to date in your industry. Briefly, before we end this call, I just want to go over the list of courses as mentioned earlier. So we have a course for business and personal branding. We have another course for business digitalization. We have another course for leadership. We have brand management and marketing strategy, and we also have content creation. After this call, an email will be sent to all of us so that we can join, the relevant groups for either of the courses or which of the courses we are interested in. Please look out for the email, and then when you get the email, click the link, for the course that you're interested in, so that you can be paired with the mentor. Do not worry. The plans that are underneath each of these mentorship programs are very robust, and they're designed to take you from where you are to where you intend to be. So you will have experts reaching out to you one-on-one basis to help give you tailored guidance, just as Estelle has already mentioned. So once again, thank you so much, everybody, and to our convener, God bless you for putting together this amazing program. Be sure to be on the lookout for us. We'll give you updates on future events, future webinars, future conferences that we'd like you to be a part of, and I'm sure that you're going to gain so much value like you've gained today. At this junction, I want to say goodbye, everybody, and thank you once again for your time. Have a lovely weekend. For those of us still on the call, I just dropped a link to the WhatsApp group on the chat box, so you can join the WhatsApp group and get more information about the courses I've mentioned. Thank you. I was